Hi everyone, thank you so much. My name is Emmy Wassénius, and today I'm going to talk about how we stay green while simplifying sustainability reporting, as the first speaker of today started talking a bit about. Because today, simplification is on the agenda again, as it seems, in the EU. And how do we navigate this turbulent time? I think we don't know yet where the omnibus package is going to land. I think only last week the European Central Bank released a report saying they think the simplification package is going too far. That with the simplifications that are done, the European Central Bank cannot assess the risks from sustainability on the financial stability. But then only 2 days ago, I read an article that the lead negotiator on the political side of the omnibus is wanting to de-scope it even more. So I think we're unsure of where this will land and what sustainability reporting in the EU will look like. But from a scientific point of view, we then enter into this of thinking about, well, what information do we need in order to assess both climate and nature-related risks, but also sustainability implications and pressures. And to go into this, into our research, I want to step back, way back, to humanity's journey on this planet. And remind ourselves that why we're interested in this is because we're interested in this narrow corridor here, called the Holocene, which is the only period that we know of the Earth's history, where human societies have been able to develop the way that they have. So humans have been around for longer. It's just that the agricultural revolution and the societies that came after it were only possible because the climate and the natural conditions were very stable. And when I talk about the planet in this presentation, this is the corridor of life that I'm talking about. The stable conditions that allow our societies to flourish and for our businesses to continue as business as usual. But we are also exiting this, or we have already exited this narrow corridor of life. And this is because we have transgressed many of the planetary boundaries. Our first speaker highlighted that many of you are familiar with this concept already. And I just want to then briefly show again that this narrow corridor is this green space in the middle of the planetary boundaries. It is what we need to keep within for the planet to remain in these stable conditions. And we need to understand the implications on all of these different boundaries. So how does this relate to business operations? Well, Earth system stability, or the destabilization of the Earth system that we are seeing now, it is what's causing a lot of these climate and nature-related risks that we are increasingly seeing companies face. Floods, storms, droughts, pest and disease outbreaks, like COVID was a good example showing that. But similarly, business operations put planetary pressure or have environmental impact that is creating this Earth system instability. And I think it's important, and in our research we highlight this, that we need to think about this as a closed loop. In reporting, we often talk about the risks coming into companies and the impacts or sustainability implications going out. But it is a closed loop. It is the environmental pressures from business operations that is fueling the climate instability that we are in. And if we want to then understand how to assess these pressures, we have coined the term, or have introduced the term planetary materiality. That we need to understand what is the data that is really material for the planet and for planetary stability, and focus on this. And this is where we go into it with sustainability reporting, understanding what is material to know for the planet and planetary stability. And it boils down, we say, to understanding where, what, and how much. Where are we doing things, how much, and what are we doing there? And so for this, we developed a tool or a framework called Essential Environmental Impact Variables to try and capture this key information. This is based on a scientific concept called essential variables, where essential variables are widely know there are ones for the climate, for the Earth system. It's about monitoring the state of the Earth with variables that are known to be critical for observing and monitoring it. But there wasn't any essential variables for environmental impact. So that's what we designed. So the essential environmental impact variables capture the most essential environmental impact of companies in a standardized manner. And what are these? Well, there are 15 of them only. And they are grouped into 3 different levels, where the first is emissions. And it's the only one, and this is what we highlight in our framework. And it's maybe unique from the different reporting schemes out there, that we say climate is unique in the sense that no matter where on the planet you release carbon, it has the same environmental impact. All other impacts are location specific. It matters where on Earth you are doing this activity. Therefore, EIVs 2 to 5 are about location. It's about specifying where are operations locations based and what are you doing in those locations. And then for each of these locations, it's about understanding what are the inputs going out in, what are the resources or outputs coming out of those operations, what are the management practices, and what different kinds of events have disrupted the operations, either global events or local, to the point. And we want to highlight with these 15 that with these 15 variables, you can capture this planetary material information and get at both the underpinning data or the building blocks for understanding sustainability implications or impact, but also climate and nature related risks. So going back to simplification within the EU, then how does this link to the CSRD or the ESRS data points that are there? Well, we argue, and we've written together a brief, that you can actually simplify the ESRS while keeping these essential information. You just need to select the correct variables to keep and leave a lot of the others. And we argue that this is the case. And maybe it's also about shifting some variables outside of the business materiality or double materiality rating and putting them as obligatory for all companies, highlighting this planetary materiality and that we need this information from all companies. But in the interest of time, I am going to stop there. Thank you so much.